Shanti Shanti. On the other hand, if you say acceptance, means the readiness to accept everything, whatever happens in life. If I lose my job, if I lose my property, if I lose my relatives, then also it is all okay, given by God. That it is okay, you can easily understand. We have given you the example so many times. Suppose a person has lost his property, lost his wealth, lost his job, lost his relatives, and he is wanting to commit suicide standing on the street. He is not able to bear the situation that why God did all these things to me and I will commit suicide. And on the other hand, you see that a person has deliberately left his job, left his relatives, left his wealth, property, everything, and standing on the street. Externally are not the two same. Is there any difference? Objectively, both are in same condition. One is, so for one it is absolutely unbearable and he is wanting to commit suicide even. For the other it is the happiest. A sannyasin, the second one is our state, I said. A sannyasin deliberately leaves everything, and the day he stands on the street leaving everything, he becomes the happiest that day. Because all the burden of possession is gone. Everything is gone. He feels the lightest, happiest. Is it different from the other? So where lies the difference? It is in the mind. One is not ready to accept whatever has providentially happened. You cannot do anything. Whatever has happened providentially, can you change it? You can again try to build up. That is different. But now whatever has happened providentially, you cannot but have to accept it. But we are not. The trouble is only in the mind. There is no readiness to accept it. By accepting, in any case you have to accept the situation objectively, is it not so? You cannot do anything about it, then you can try. What is the point in saying that why did it happen to me, why did it happen to me, did I do anything in my past life? All these things are absolute nonsense. You have to accept it, but the readiness of the mind is not there. In the other case, the person has deliberately taken to that, so he is happy, because whatever he wanted he has got. So it is such a simple thing that when it has happened providentially, can we not operate the acceptance switch in the mind? I always use this language. It is a switch for which you don't have to even lift your hand and go to the switchboard. It's right within you. Sitting here you can, oh, acha, there is a little trouble. Operate the acceptance switch. ठीक है, क्या होगा? What will happen? Let everything go. If I die, I will die. If I live, I will live. If another job comes, I will do. If no job comes, I will do. Some begging I will do. What is there? If I fail in the exam, I will fail. What is there? My father will send me out of the house. I will go around, I will roam around in the street. How does it happen? The moment this acceptance switch is operated, everything, all tension, stress, everything goes and we become comfortable. So this is what the thinking about the Lord as Almighty, that He does it. Now Adreshya means He cannot be seen or perceived by any of the senses. Because sense perception means limited. Suppose sugar is sweet and chili is hot. They are two different things. So it's a different limited expression which is being perceived by the tongue. Similarly, seeing means unless there is a color difference, you will not be able to see. So there is definitely a difference in the form, perception is there. Now this all-pervading, all-embracing reality, to conceive of that, we have to go to a transcendental dimension to attain it, to perceive it. Naturally, our mind does not allow, because right from birth we are given to seeing small, small things, getting attracted and repelled by small, small things, limited things. So the mind is not able to get beyond this constriction, this habit. So what the scripture is trying to give us that abstraction. Any abstract thinking will make our mind subtle. Give us that abstraction, that don't try to see God as you are looking at the object. Because if God is the chair, He is not the table, then chair and table both cannot come from God. If God is only space and not the time, then space and time cannot come from God. Everywhere, anything you think, it has to go beyond all perceptible object qualities. So just by single word adreshyam, the Shastras mean this, that you cannot hope to see God by any of the object qualities that you are used to. Am I clear? Or is it difficult? Adreshyam means not only seeing, it includes all the 5 sense organs. Agrahyam, it is ungraspable. That means with the karmendriyas, normally this is a object. I can hold the glass with my hand. It is grahyam, it is graspable. I can kick you with the leg. So that is also within that. Like that, any of the karmendriyas working in organs, if you work on it, any object can be worked on by our karmendriyas. But this cannot be. So it does not have the property of, so that our karmendriyas can grasp it. Our sense organs cannot perceive it. Our organs of action cannot work on it. Agrahyam. One word they have used. Then agotram. Gotra is the origin. You should not look for another origin of this. That by definition it is prevented. If this is the ultimate truth, and you look for another origin of the ultimate truth, then that will be the ultimate truth. This will not be the ultimate truth. So it is without any origin. You should not look for origin. Why are we always looking for origin? Because right from birth we are given to causality. I said the other day also. By habit we cannot accept anything without the causal chain. If I push the table, it will move, otherwise it will not move. If I eat, my hunger will be satiated, otherwise it will not be there. So we are bound by this causal sensation. That causality means duality. There is cause, there is effect. This truth by definition will have to be beyond causality. Otherwise, you will look for the cause behind that also. Who has created God, you will ask. Then you find another God to create God. Then you will ask who has created that God. It will go on like that. We can go into the subtle logic, but I don't propose to go now. Agotram avarnam. Avarnam, varna means the qualities. In chaturvarnam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagashaha. That I have created the 4 varnas with the guna and karma. That means any varna means color, varna means the qualities also. So if you can assign some quality to this ultimate truth, then it cannot be the ultimate truth. Because it is again an object which you are assigning that quality there, but the quality is not there in others. That is why I give a simple logic that all our self, our my soul and your soul, there is no difference at all. If you can understand, I will just say in one word. Suppose I say that your soul is different from my soul. How do you identify the difference? What is your name? Harsh. So, suppose your soul has got some Harsh property and my soul has got some Nutun Swamiji property. Then only we will be able to differentiate the two. Maybe it is not bodily property, mind or character or inside the mind, anything. Any parameter, any quality or property you assign, which you call this is Harsh soul and this is Nutun Swamiji soul. Now that moment you identify it with a property, that property is not the subject, it is the object before the consciousness. Property, any property means we are seeing, we are knowing the property. It's an objective quality. Is it becoming too difficult? It's an objective quality. The moment it is objective means I am knowing that objective quality, I am knowing that. Like that, God also is an object, because God, when we say, we mean a concept of a God, and that concept of God is different for different people. Now that concept of God I am knowing. So it is an object before me, it is not the real God. The real God is the subject on which the whole universe is appearing to be. So if we assign any property at all to this truth, then it becomes an object. Object means I am knowing that property, I am seeing that property. Are you clear? So if we cannot identify that this is Harsha soul and this is Nutun Swamiji soul, then is it not the same soul for both? The subject, the soul. The moment you assign any identifying mark on it, it becomes object, it's no longer the soul, no longer the subject. So subject you cannot differentiate at all. I am talking about it from the logical point of view. You need not, but I am saying that from the logical point of view also, the soul has to be the same everywhere. Identical. It cannot be different. Because any differential mark becomes object. That is why we say that neti neti vachanair nigama vochuhu. The Vedas, nigama means the Vedas, they speak about the soul by na iti vachana. That means if they say iti means this is what it is. Even Satchidananda, it is not the actual description, it is only an approximate. Because when you say Satchidananda, this is Satchidananda, this concept of Satchidananda is before your observation. This is a concept of your mind. It becomes an object before you. Are you able to understand? So, any concept becomes an object. So, how can the Vedas say about the define the truth? They cannot. They say that whatever you say, no, not this. You say Sat, no, not Sat even. Chit, no, not Chit even. Ananda, no, not Ananda even. By saying Sat, we mean that it is not Asat, that's all. By saying Chit, we mean that it is not Jada, that's all. By saying Ananda, we mean that it is not Dukkha. It's not only Dukkha. This is the way we have to analyze, otherwise our mind will not go beyond the constrictions it is suffering from. Why are we studying? It is not for philosophy. When we interact the mind with these concepts, what happens is that the mind is always clinging to small habitual ideas, constrictions, etc. Without that, the vairagya cannot come. So it helps us to get away from all these constrictions, all this clinging, so that the mind becomes spatial. How will it become spatial unless we remove all the knots, all the constrictions? It's full of knots. If you look into your mind, you will find everywhere we have tied, small knots. It's full. They all have to be released. Then only you will feel the spatial nature of the mind. So he said, Yat tad adreshyam, agrahyam, agotram, avarnam. All these limiting qualities of objects, it is not there in the truth. So don't try to find it as objective something before you. Even in meditation, people see, I am meditating now. Oh, is this the soul? No. Is this the soul means what? You are again going to see or know the soul. It is an object. By the very effort to detect it, you are objectivizing the subject. Is it not so? Soul is what you are. So if I discovered the soul like this, self, this is the self. No, it is not the self, because this is, you are discovering, you are the self, and what you have discovered, it cannot be self. The discovery can take place only when you are not looking at anything at all. That means even to try to find out the self, that effort is gone. Effortlessness is needed. When that effort of the buddhi has also gone, then your consciousness reveals itself. It is not a revelation of something else to the consciousness. Whenever anything is revealed, the consciousness becomes small. A glass is revealed. We don't see the consciousness, we see only the glass. So it is getting engaged in the glass. We see the glass, but it is actually glass is revealed in the consciousness. We miss the consciousness, we see the glass. We see the light. It is revealing that constricted small thing, light. Similarly, when we see a thought, my father's thought has come. Immediately the focus is on the father, but the consciousness where the father is appearing is missed. The office thought has come. Immediately we move with the boss or the employee or so. That office becomes the focus. The consciousness which has created the office in my mind, that consciousness is missed. So only when the consciousness is not engaged by any revelation, any external or internal revelation, am I clear? The whole world is external revelation. The whole internal world of emotion, ideas, thoughts, they are internal revelation. When the consciousness is not revealing any external as well as internal, then only it remains free as it is, and it reveals itself. It reveals in its own luster. That is what the samadhi does. In sleep also it happens, but we don't come to know, because everything is sleeping, the buddhi is also sleeping. In samadhi the buddhi is awake, but it is not having any effort to detect anything. The mind is awake, but it is not having any thought. The senses are awake, but they are not discovered, that they are not engaged in anything. So the consciousness reveals itself in its own luster. So to go to that revelation, what we are really, that is our real identity, we should not forget. We are not talking about something abstract in the sky, Brahman or Atma or Paramatma. It is the Atma, means what I am throughout the day using as I. We are speaking about that. And this is the state, that unaffected, untouched, untarnished state of our own identity. To know that, we have to think, and we have to go to that abstraction through this transcendental, to discover this transcendental truth. In the second line, the first line they have said everything, the properties of the object is not there. So, vastu guna varjitam, we can say. Varjita means devoid of all vastu guna, objective properties. The second line is kartritva bhoktritva varjitam. You can write down if you like. Kartritva bhoktritva varjitam. Where from kartritva and bhoktritva is coming? Bhoktritva is coming from the senses, perception, etc. And kartritva from whatever we are doing. Now, if we do not have the achakshushrotram, we don't have the eyes, we don't have the ears, we don't have the tongue, we don't have anything, then will there be any bhoktritva? Bhoktritva means enjoyership. We cannot enjoy anything. So, because it does not have any of these indriyas, he does not have bhoktritva also. Initially it spoke about the objective world. Now they are speaking about the subject, about us. That this soul or the truth does not have any ears or eyes or tongue or anything. So it cannot enjoy anything at all. Yesterday we went to a house, they are from Odisha, so they have the Jagannatha as the main idol. This Jagannatha will not have hands and legs, all are cut off. Our Baba Gurudev, he said that after seeing all the pilgrimages, going to all the pilgrimages, you should visit Jagannatha, Puri Jagannatha. Why? Because there going you find that the Lord does not do anything at all. The hands are cut, the legs are cut, how can he do anything? Jagannath, he is the Natha of the Jagat, he is the ruler of the whole world, but he does not do anything. What does he do? He has very big eyes, almost projecting out of the face. Big eyes, and there is no focused vision. It is called Kevali Bhava. In Bengali we use it abusively, say Kabla. When one does not do anything, we say Kabla. But actually it is the highest qualification. Kevali Bhava means a knower's Bhava, that he only remains a witness. This is the witness I started with today. This is the witness Bhava of Jagannatha. He does everything. He destroys the galaxies, he brings up newer galaxies. Everything is happening. We cannot even imagine the action, but he doesn't do anything. It just happens. Om Bhadram Karne Bhishnuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashyemakshabhiryajatraha Sthirairangaistuštuvamsastanubhihi Vyashema devahitam yadayuhu Swasti na indro vriddhashavaha Swasti na pusha vishvavedaha Swasti nastaksyorishtanemihi Swasti no brihaspatirdadhatu Om Shanti 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 Om Bhadram Karnebhih Shrunuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashyemakshabhiryajatraha Sthirairangaistuštuvamsastanubhih Vyashema devahitam yadayuhu Swasti na indro vruddhashavaha Swasti nah pusha vishvavedaha Swasti nastarksho arishtanemihi Swasti no brihaspatirdadhatu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So far what we have done, Shaunaka approached Angirasa and asked him by knowing what everything will become known. In reply, Angirasa said that there are two vidyas, two knowledges to be had. One is called inferior, apara, another is para, means the supreme knowledge. But dve vidye veditavye, the word veditavye means ought to be learned. That means we cannot have the para right ahead. If there is something supreme, let me have the supreme. It is not possible unless the whole being, the mind, intelligence, they undergo a certain process of discipline and certain purification, refinement. The paravidya cannot be had. Paravidya means jaya tadaksharam adhigamyate. It is not a knowledge taken as a secondary knowledge. The akshara becomes realized, means the knowledge of the soul becomes a first-hand discovery for us. We come to know what is our real identity. There lies the difference from the other knowledges. It is not a second-hand knowledge, it has to become a first-hand knowledge. Now, saying that, he said that all the Vedas, Rigvedo, Yajurvedaha, Samavedo, Atharvavedaha, Shiksha, Kalpo, Vyakaranam, Niruktam, Chando, Jyotishamiti. All the four Vedas and the 6 Vedangas, the limbs of the Vedas, they are all under apara, inferior knowledge. The para is only athapara yaya tadaksharam adhigamyate. Akshara means, kshara means decaying, changing, changeful. Akshara means which is never changing, always the same. Now after that we went over to the 6th mantra. This we will do properly again. Yat tadadreshyamagrahyam agotram achakshushrotram tadapanipadam nityam vibhum sarvagatam susukshmam tadavyayam yat bhutayonim paripashyanti dhiraha. So here we discussed that the first line, Yat tat adreshyam. Adreshyam means which cannot be seen. But whenever they refer about one indriya, it means all the 5 jnanendriyas. That is, which cannot be seen, cannot be heard, cannot be touched, cannot be smelt, cannot be tasted. That means it is not under the scope of the jnanendriyas, the perceiving senses. That means it does not have any of the properties of the usual objects we see and interact with in the world. You see about it, whatever informations we have about the material world, they either have, yesterday Swamiji was also explaining, that 5 qualities. These 5 sense parameters they will have. The whole world is appearing with infinite variety. But if you analyze them, they are only a combination of these 5 senses. Now, Adreshyam means which does not have all these qualities. Then Agrahyam means which is not graspable by the organs of action. You cannot hold it, you cannot kick it. By any of the karmendriyas, you cannot grasp it. That is also the properties of the objective world. So then comes Agotram. Agotram means which does not have its origin. In the material world, everything has a cause. Everything has an origin.